right, everybody, welcome back. Today I've got Cody Zor with me. Cody is one of our clients at ezREIclosings and has seen some amazing growth in his company and his revenue over the last year. So, Cody, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Good, man. Well, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us where you're at and tell us a little bit about your business.
I'm in San Diego, California. I've
Beautiful.
lived here for about 7 years now. We do all of our business virtually back in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Um, that's where I'm from originally. That's
I
where
was
I
gonna
spent
say
the
you've
first.
definitely got that accent.
Yeah, that hasn't gone away the
Right.
7 years I've been out here. But the first 24 years of my life, I was in Milwaukee.
Nice.
And my family there and my team there, everyone on our team is either family or friends and like like really good. Like I'm the godfather of one of my dispositions manager, and then
Oh, nice.
the our contractor has worked with my father for 15 years before he came and started
Yeah.
doing houses with us, and then my brother's our acquisitions manager, and
Mhm.
so it's a family and friends team.
Nice. How long have you been investing?
Uh, in 2019 we started I think towards the end
So
there,
just 5 years
almost
almost.
almost 5 years. Yeah.
Wow, you're like an old timer in the wholesaling business.
Yeah, it's starting to get to that point. Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been with ezREI Closings?
Um, I think almost exactly a year.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What made you come find us out of all the people that you could be searching for help?
Well, I mean, at the point I had the acquisitions manager, our contractor, and really our contractor was he just goes to our appointments and does an accurate,
Yeah.
assessment of what it needs, and he gets 5% of all the closed deals from doing that, and he goes to all the appointments.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, and he loves doing it. He learns a lot from it, and he uses it. I mean, to help with his business, and
Mhm.
but so we had a lot of the bases covered, and but besides the transaction coordinating, and I was handling that, which obviously I was still over because our acquisitions and dispositions were still fairly younger and never had any experience in it.
Sure.
My brother had just graduated college. He's been working with us for 2 years, 2 of the 5 years. He graduated college and he decided to come work with us. And so he was brand new. So I obviously was still overseeing dispositions and acquisitions, which has gone down tremendously over the last 2 years,
Yeah.
especially this last year as they, learned more.
Yeah, you
Um,
build a team. That's great.
yeah, then the TC I was handling, and then obviously the marketing, and it just kind of everything, keeping the glue. Me and my wife, she's crucial in it as well.
Yeah.
Um, but the transaction coordinating was definitely the biggest thing that I wanted to get off of my plate.
Yeah.
The rest of it, the marketing and all the the ins and outs, like those are the things I really enjoy doing that stuff and getting it set up, um and building processes, and different marketing channels, whatever I like doing that stuff. The TC, not so much. I didn't like doing it at all. I
Yeah.
and it wasn't so much of the fact of that I didn't like doing it as, and I'm sure the reason I didn't like doing it had a lot to do with this, and this is the biggest reason, is it took so much time away from doing those other things. And it's not the
Yeah.
fact that I like doing those, it was the fact that those are the things that produce the money.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
I think you're 100% right. I think when any of us got into this business, nobody's like, hey, and you're going to have to figure out all this weird title stuff.
I mean, there's a lot of it, and it's different for all the. Even if you just do just regular wholesaling, there still can
Yeah.
be 100 different things that
Yeah.
happen with that can come up with the houses that
Mhm.
are new to you.
Yeah.
And that was like I mean, obviously one of the biggest perks of getting to work with you guys is you guys have at a minimum, I mean, at least a minimum base knowledge of all of the stuff,
Oh, yeah.
which was huge. And a lot of the things you have extensive knowledge,
Yeah.
but the fact that you know a little about everything just made things so much easier to begin. And then obviously the fact that I didn't have to do it,
Yeah.
um, it was great. But yeah, that's pretty. That was that the we we a lot of our deals in the inner city of Milwaukee,
Mhm.
where we the first couple of years is where people would sell to us, and they were cheaper priced, and it was easier to work with them, and when we didn't know what we were doing or what to say, and
Right.
uh, we could get and and that's kind of been our base from the beginning. We still do most of our deals in there. We've expanded out as we've evolved and learned. But the houses are $20,000 to $50,000 purchase prices, right? So
Yeah.
there's not a crazy amount to be made on those for a quick wholesale deal. So a lot of times we're working with, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 deals, and there could be
Yeah.
just crazy amounts of headaches dealing with these people trying to do the transaction coordinating. It just simply wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
The amount of money that I remember just how many times I was pulling my hair out saying like, this is not worth the $2,000 that we're getting
Yeah.
simply dealing with the person and having to go through the process.
Right. Right. No, I get it. And that's what we do as investors. We go out and find people with problems, and the more problems we can solve, hopefully the more we can make. But we inherently are just going out there looking for, I say we're digging the bottom of the barrel, right? Pulling
That's
up.
actually, I have never really looked at it like that, but that's actually very true. I
Yeah,
mean,
we're pulling up all the muck,
that's
right?
how we get the deal, right? They got to have problems.
Yeah. So cool. So you were just trying to find a way to get some of that off of your plate so you could focus on the parts of the business where you're really good.
That, and truthfully, just for other things too, personal things, like it frees up a lot of time when you don't have to follow up on one piece of paper for 2 days, six
Yeah.
times. I mean, you really do free up time for not just that other stuff, but I mean for things for yourself too. It's helped me become more sane this last year.
So ultimately that was the kind of the decision to come with us, just to free up some time for you.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, and I think that's the end goal for any, entrepreneur that starts a business, that goal, tries to build outside of just a one-man team or whatever. Is the whole point of it is to buy back your time. I
Exactly.
mean, and to do the things you love and want to do for the rest of your life.
Nice, nice. So have we lived up to that expectation, I hope, or
Without a doubt, without a doubt.
yeah, what's it been like working with us?
I mean, it could. I mean, it's as smooth as as I could have hoped. I mean, you guys, like I said, have a vast knowledge on many topics and knowledge on all topics.
Yeah,
Um, we've worked with Angela on 90% of our deals,
she's
which
awesome.
I love that it's consistency and we built a relationship. It's like she works for me. It's like I hired her, but I didn't, and I don't, and I didn't have to do any of that. And it's like she's part of our team and no different than anybody else.
Nice.
And even the times where there have been contracts to other people, or like right now when you're going through a new process and hiring
Mhm.
and raising people up to new
Yep.
positions, and she still has CC'd in on ours and helping through the process with it, even though she's not in that. She doesn't have to do any of that. She personally asked us if
Yeah.
she could, reached out and it said, can I help you with any of the ones that they have? And I was like, that is just so amazing. So you have
She
your
she's
team
awesome.
even all the way across the board
Yeah.
is really nice to work with. You
Well,
the right
thank you.
people.
I wish I could take all the credit for that, but I hired Heather and she hires all the rest of them. So
Well,
she
I mean
does a
you
good
just said
job.
it right there. You hired the person who's doing the hiring, so you absolutely get credit for it.
Well, I will gladly take it, but no, they're amazing. And I tell you, I used to think that
And
I would.
Heather too. Heather's. I mean,
Oh,
there isn't a
Heather
better,
and Hannah, they're all amazing.
across the board. All of the things that I have, all the marketing channels, all of the different
Yeah,
platforms that we use, all of the supervisors and things that I have to deal with. She's hands down by far. I mean, the not just the most helpful. I mean, she responds faster than everybody. She's more empathetic. She's a more understanding of all situations. I mean,
yeah.
she really does. I mean, she's a gem that you have.
Well, I appreciate that. I always tell people, we work really hard. We're admittedly not perfect. But we do try very hard every day to come in and make sure that we're taking care of you guys. So I
Well,
appreciate
and the
that.
fact that and you present that you're not perfect, it makes it that much. It really does make it that much better. I mean,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I tell people that all the time. We don't do anything else. We don't wholesale anymore. We don't do coaching. We don't do any of those things. We just can come in, all 22 or 23 people, and we're just here to help you close your deals. Like single-mindedly, that's what we're here for, is just
well,
help.
and you can tell. I mean, and you can tell that's what it seems like. You got a mission over there.
Well, I appreciate it. So tell me about your business, when you started and where is it at now? Has it grown any?
Yeah, so we are primed to have our biggest month ever for this month. I mean, the next 2 weeks we've got it all happening. and it's the most, it's 6 contracts, which is tied for the most we've ever
Nice.
done in a month.
Good job.
Which we only did one time before you
Mhm.
guys, which we were in business for 4 years. So I mean, the first
Sure.
3 years, weren't great. The fourth
Yeah.
year was pretty good. And we still only did that one time. And
Mhm.
the big thing being what we just were talking about, when we had 6 contracts, I had 2 or 3 weeks of only dealing with transaction coordinating. I couldn't think, you couldn't do anything else because you can't just do something for 10 minutes or 30 minutes. If you want to work on something, you need to have a chunk of time set
Sure.
aside to do it. And if you can't get that in the day, then if you try to do something, you're just going to you're just going to get upset with yourself. So
Yeah.
you just I just focused on that. And then the next month would be our lowest month ever. I mean,
Yeah.
we would go from 6 to 1
Mhm.
versus, if we otherwise, we'd be at like 2 or 3 all the time.
Yeah.
But whenever we had this, but now when with we had 6, I think it was like 4, 3, 6, and so like with you guys, and now again we're at 6 this month. We've
Yeah.
never had, we only had 1 or 2 months where we had 2, and the rest were 3,
Mm.
and then more. So I mean, it just overall
Just
we're
smoothing out a
at
little bit.
+1 a month average at least.
Wow.
And I mean, probably closer to +2 a month average, and then our bottom is never. I mean, our bottom is nowhere near what it's been. I mean, we had one deal 2 or 3 times, and 2 deals 3 times. So like 6 months were 1 or 2 deals the year before, even
Wow.
though we ended up with only, I think, like 3 or 4 less deals for the year.
Wow.
And
Nice.
they were just so like, we had 6 and 5 and then 1,
Mhm.
like it would be 6 then 1, 5 then 1, and
Wow.
then there would be those ones in between. So like, and that was just terrible, and you can't live
Yeah.
like that either, making no money for an
Yeah.
entire month.
Well, it's tough. You have no predictability for income. It's hard to do payroll. Your team wants to get paid. So we used to call that like the cycle of death. You kind of that massive roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Right, and it's really bad when you get paid a large sum for 1 month that
Yeah.
could last 3 months, but you spend it in 1 month because you got the large sum of money. And
Yeah.
I'm talking, employees and everything too. Like,
Sure. Sure.
they need to get paid. They're a month later. It's they, and
Yeah.
I totally get it. I mean that. But and you don't think ever that you're not gonna make money the next. You think it was a big month. You're not thinking,
Oh,
even if
optimistic, right?
times that it went 6 to 1,
Yeah.
6 to 1. You're not here thinking like, oh, now I know like this next month's gonna suck. You got to keep your
Mhm.
hopes up, and think, and you're thinking right. Um,
Yeah.
so then you don't plan for $0 the next month, and then it really does put you in a pickle.
Right.
Which then mentally that's the worst place to be. I mean, when you got no money and nothing coming in, and you got for myself, it's fine, but employees, like they got bills and food and family, and that doesn't sit right with me ever.
Right.
Uh,
No, I mean, that's our responsibility as business owners to make sure.
right, exactly. And I
Yeah.
mean, I've done some pretty dramatic things to get them paid. Like, I mean, it's you selling plasma, or
Yeah.
auctioning off beds, our table, sold my car last year, which was, I mean, we still got a car, and it wasn't like any, but like, we'll do anything to make it work. But we had to do that because of those huge swings. And this year has been so much smoother, um,
I see.
because of that. Um, we haven't had those lows. We've had all the same highs,
Yeah.
but the lows don't happen, which has been really, really phenomenal.
So what percentage of your time do you think you bought back by getting rid of all the transactions?
Man, that was a hard one. I like a hard one to put a thing on, because there were just months where all I did was that.
Yeah.
Um, I would have to say like 30. I mean, at least a third of my time was bought back doing that.
And
And since then we added, um we've added with the Facebook ads, and then we are currently getting the mom's house certificate. I don't know
yes.
if you're aware of that. We already
Yeah.
got it. We're been working on implementing it. Last year I mean, we had our texting and our cold calling and the leads and the TC, and I got so upset with myself throughout the year because I didn't get anything else done. I
Yeah.
got 8 months into the year. I'm like, dude, I've been trying to get things moving. How are we in August? And I haven't done any of that.
Mhm.
And then this year, I mean, I'm getting things done like it's like no other. And then that is, I have to attribute the majority of that to the
Oh,
ezREI closing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You
But
guys, I mean, truthfully, you guys are a big part. You saved me.
well, thank you. I appreciate that. One of the reasons I created the company is I remembered what it was like to be in that position, right? Where you just, I tell people like, bro, I would work 14 hours a day. That was a light day. I would come in
Right,
on
right.
Sunday, a half day was 8 hours, but because I was just doing everything I could just to keep my head above water and do all the things that I thought I was supposed to be doing, and then I still couldn't get them done, and I still couldn't get past, 3 or 4 deals consistently every single month. You
I mean,
know.
I mean, it sounds like, you're mirroring exactly how I felt. And it sounds like that's the story. And you knew that that was the story that had to be the story of everybody in this position. And you decided to take the bullet and make life better for everybody else.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. How is like tell me what it's like working with Angela and her team and because now she's a team lead because she does such an amazing job for us. Like how is communication back and forth?
I mean, same with, I mean, across the board, all the way up in management, Angela, the entire team, everybody. I mean, it's as good as I've ever seen in anything that I've done.
Thank you.
There isn't a day, I mean, there isn't a couple of hours that goes by without a response. And even with, there's been times like when you guys were just in the mass trainings recently that we'd shoot her a text and she would still get back to us, tell her, she told us she was in that. And
Yeah.
how many times she's told us recently that she would stay late to make sure she got whatever that was afterwards to make sure it was taken care of or that it was done that day or to follow up with a team member, her who had a contract hours that it was taken care of. I mean, and she's done that. I mean, because it's been such a busy and prosperous month for us. It seems like she's had to do that a lot recently.
Yeah.
And with the new people coming on, she's even taken, the response. I mean, she's even taken the not responsibility, but the initiative to oversee it for us as well. When really we didn't even, I was little, I was like hoping we would have her, but and then but I knew how it was going. And once in a while that's going to happen. And
Yeah.
I didn't expect her to do that, but the fact that she did, I mean, it's like having her anyway. So it's like we got two people working the case.
Yeah, well, they all sit. I can almost see their huddle corner over from where I'm sitting in. They're all pretty close. They're a great tight knit team over there. So
They seem like it. They do it, and that's. I mean, I always think that's huge, and that's
yeah,
why I mean my team is only family and the friends since childbirth. I think
yeah,
how important that is to have that kind. Obviously, that's not always how that can happen, especially
sure.
when you're more than a 4 or 5 person team. Uh,
Right.
but the fact that I feel that that's how the team is, that is a huge. It drew me, keeps me drawn in. It keeps me very excited about it. And I mean, I knew when you guys were saying hiring all these new people, I'm like, okay, how's that going to be?
Yeah.
Um, but I've already can see that there's, it's already a connection and flowing together, and there's support. Your people above or not even above, or just the people that are there that beside them in the same, they're there willing to help them.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no hiccup or any issues or so really, I mean, even when you guys are hiring a whole bunch of new people, you guys are still able to keep things moving smoothly and without, with not without error, but at a
Sure.
regular rate. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously error happens, like you said, and
Mhm.
but it's very, very far and few in between. There's not even close to a point where I would ever complain about anything or ever think about it, or lose sleep over it kind of deal. I mean, it really is a very, very great system you got over there.
Oh, I appreciate that. And Angela and Steve and Hannah and Heather, they take a lot of pride in training up the new people and making sure they understand that culture that we are here to support you guys.
Well,
That's
they
it.
they do an excellent job, and I feel they project that to them, and it shows.
Cool. So I'll wrap this up because I know I kept you longer than I promised, but for somebody who was thinking about, geez, maybe I should hire, a transaction coordinator in Easy, like somebody who's kind of on the fence, like what advice would you give them? How did it affect your business?
Oh, do you? I mean, I got the icing on the cake for sure. That should entice anybody. Um, I mean, not only do I recommend you 10 out of 10, 100%, it's changed my life. I mean, I've said all of the amazing things that it's done already.
Yeah.
But really the icing on the cake is definitely, it pays for itself.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys provide not only provided us with, and we already had a pretty simplified contract, but you provided us with one that was like legitimately like, I couldn't believe how simple it was.
You like that, huh?
And
That's
you
a good
said it was,
contract.
you said it worked. I'm like, if this works, I mean, and ours was already simple, and I thought that was the minimum, and yours guys was like, whoa. And people love that, you know, people do. I mean, they either want the WB11 or they want nothing, and they want to be able to, you know, so like, it doesn't matter if you have something in between. So like, we've realized how people really do like the 8 points, and they're all, you know, layman's term, regular English, no confusion, which was great. And then the, you know, your BC contract, it does, you know, ties together with it. It's where they literally say the exact same thing, but you don't have to show the second person, you know, the first person's contract to get them to sign it, to, you know, to see what they're agreeing to, which has increased our assignment fees tremendously. These last two, we just did two $30,000 deals that I, you know, I don't think would have flown so easily if they would have seen that we were doing it.
That's why I created that thing 15 years ago.
And so that's huge. But the icing on the cake is definitely that it pays for itself, in the sense that you guys told us that you can add a TC fee into your BC contract. And at first I'm like, you know, I don't know how that's going to fly, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I did it right away. And I started at a small one of $395, and almost everybody we did a deal with in the past did complain about it to start. And we told them, okay, we'll take it off this time, but you need to account for it in the next one, in your offering your thing. So they were happy that we were going to take it off. So, and they agreed to the next time, but no one ever did that again. Only one person only one person ever after that gave an offer and then went back, oh, wait, and brought the offer down $400 once they got the contract. But besides that, but then that guy didn't do it again the next time. Because I told him, I'm like, I mean, we just said, you know, like, we're not going to be playing little games like that with you. But nobody else ever did. And we just started and then we increased it to, then we increased it, you know, to $495. And then I made 3 different contracts, that $595, $6. So like, we have a $250,000 house that we're selling. We do the $695 one, and nobody bats an eye. I mean, it took 2 months to get to that point. I think on the 3rd month, it almost paid for itself. Every month after that, it's paid for itself, or I've made money from you guys.
So the ROI is pretty good for your business.
I mean, I don't pay for you guys. You guys are free for me.
I love
it. I mean, because I would have never done that otherwise. That's not something I would have ever thought to do. It would have never been. And even if someone listening to this is gonna, I mean, it's not as easy to, you know, because you're not really, I mean, they're not really offering a transaction service. We are literally connecting them to somebody who does the entire thing and helps them with all of the problems, with a smile on their face. Anybody else that wants to try and charge someone for it, like, people are not going to be happy about that. Buyers and sellers, I mean, buyers almost still aren't happy about it, but like, it's better to work. I mean, they at least so much smoother that way, working through it, you know.
And that's what I always just tell people. Hey, you know, Mr. Buyer, Mr. Seller, you know, we're going to connect you with an independent third party that's going to handle all of your sensitive information, your social security number, your wiring instructions. You know, that's who's handling this for
you. And they like that it sounds, because it's very professional. It's like a professional company is coming to take care and handle me to sell my house. I mean, and that is made, you know, that has given us a lot of credibility with sellers. The second we, you know, tell them that, and they're always, and how many times we hear sellers say how Angela is great with them. I mean, we hear that a lot too, you know, that working with you. I mean, no, not once. I mean, buyers are buyers, and they're going to complain about things no matter what. The ones that do, at least, not, some of them don't. And the ones that don't, they have never heard anything, you know, so obviously, I mean, they complain about me all the time too. So like, you know, I've heard things from them about but that's just because they're like that. I've never had one seller ever come back and be like, I working with them, but not even, I mean, if they've said anything ever, it's always positive about working with anybody from your team. They always say it's a pleasure, and that they made it, you know, that much simpler and easier for them. And the fact that they get to them in real time, and they answer the phone when they call, like, it's not even like they got to call them back. Like, your people answer the phone.
They try really hard. I mean,
which is like, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
So like the fact that, you know, somebody who's selling their home, especially when it's an owner occupied home, and it's someone maybe who's lived there for a long time, and you know, and that happens a lot, you know, like a lot of people, their house is important to them, and it's and a lot of people don't sell a house many times in their life, and
Sure.
it's the biggest thing that they've ever done, the biggest transaction, so there's a lot of, you know, it can bring on a lot of worry and wonder and skepticism, and working with you guys makes that go away for them instantly, which ultimately in the end makes working with them through the rest of the process for us that much smoother and easier, because they're in, you know, happier and easier to work with, and overall, I mean, that's, you know, always makes everything easier.
Nice. Well, Cody, thank you so much, man. I appreciate all of the kind words. Thank you for being a client. I appreciate you, and I'm glad that our team's doing a good job for you.
Oh, I thank you very, no, I appreciate you guys. You guys are doing an excellent job. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, I apologize. I won't see you next week in Dallas, but I'll see you next month in, I guess it'll be Fort Worth or Dallas or one of those
Yeah,
places that
yeah.
you'll event.
All right, buddy. It sounds
All
good.
right.
Can't wait.
Thank you so much, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Bye.